Yo, what's good, everyone? It's your boy, Matt Diazable, doing some more reviews. Thanks for coming on by. If you're now just discovering me, I really appreciate it because I got to go full on YouTube mode because this is all I got going on for me now. So if you like what you see, like, subscribe, and comment. We're going through another fast one take review because I got a lot to get through by the end of the year. So let's get into it. Today, I'm checking out the latest release from a band called Dead Heat with their newest album called Process of Elimination. Now, if you don't know anything about this band, I'll give you a little bit of a rundown. They are a California-based band, specifically, if I'm correct, Oxnard, and they play a style of thrash, crossover, and like hardcore music. They play very intense, like fast music. A good way to describe it, they usually have, some really thick grooves, very thrashy metal riffing, and a lot of hardcore urgencies and drums that hit like a cinder block. I've reviewed this band before. I'll leave it down in the comments. Back in 2023, Endless Torment, I think, was the EP. Really phenomenal, really great EP there. The drum work, the drummer in this band, fantastic. If you love drums, you're going to like what this guy does. He does a lot of tasteful work in the recording sessions of all Dead Heat stuff. Really great stuff. But yeah, that's the band's history and everything. I've seen them play in Japan way back, right before the pandemic and everything, or right around that time, or right when things were getting off. I remember seeing them in Japan. They play really good live. They tour really well, tour hard. They've been doing a consistent, I guess, way of like putting their music out there. A pretty decent band in the hardcore thrash world. Now, with this newest album, Process of Elimination, right away, you can hear the band's improved musicianship compared to their last EP. Whether it's the shreddy, ripping energy that explodes after the acoustic fake out of the first song, Perpetual Punishment, or the galloping thrash momentum running through Annihilation Nation. The guitar work has gotten a lot sharper, chunkier, and a little bit more metallic. The riffs throughout the album, from the thunderous stomps that anchors Hidebound to the very dense chugging weight of the order, show Dead Heat have been leaning harder into their metal side of the whole crossover genre that they occupy. The drumming, honestly, always star of the album. They're fantastic. Every track showcases very tight double kicks, deep tom head playing, and heavy chest thumping grooves. You really instantly hear on the song Enemy, where the drums practically dictate the entire song. It's rise and fall. It has a really good eep and flow there. Later on the title track, Process of Elimination, where the percussions really give this whole massive and very commanding presence to the song. Sounds dope. Even the album's closer, Hatred Bestowed, rides on some very explosive rolling drums that feel like a nice victory lap for the band. The bass tone is another highlight to this band, very thick, growling, and very central to everything. Tracks like By My Will and Solace Denied absolutely rumble because of how low and physical that the bass sounds. And when the band drops into very groovier passages, the bass carries a nice weight. They're able to keep up with the thrash metal being played here. I will say the album does struggle at times in terms of consistency and payoffs. They're definitely seem like sharper musicians here, but some of the structures and overall song structures and payoffs, not the best. There are moments here where Dead Heat really build up the tension, but they don't actually go anywhere, or they don't really stick the landing. The slow crawl of DH Stomp and Solace Denied take their time to set the mood, but they eventually just kind of drop in and they feel very anticlimactic. Like, you want something more, especially with something called DH Stomp. You think it's going to be just, a heavy hitting, a pit song that's just going to make you want to just like stomp hard in the pit, stage dive and everything. It feels a little lukewarm. The interlude, Seventh Gate, doesn't really add much to the atmosphere or really the momentum, which kind of breaks up the pacing for the song, for the album. It's there. It's not doing too much. It's okay, not okay, but it's all right. It it serves somewhat of a purpose, but you don't really need to go back to it, I feel like. The vocals are very raw, biting, and quite emotional. Sometimes almost like he has like a trembling in his voice, like on the song Perpetual Punishment. They fit the crossover vibe very nicely, but occasionally they get buried in the mix or feel less forceful than the instruments at times. especially compared to how massive the drums and bass feel. They can kind of overpower the vocals a little bit. That being said, there are plenty of bright spots on this album. Hidebound brings one of the album's strongest blends of groove and thrash, complete with a very legitimately great guitar solo. The title track shows that the band are pushing their songwriting further into more moodier build-ups, and the closer, Hatred Bestowed, especially has a nice feature from Upon Stone, adds some nice, variety and just overall a nice fusion of hardcore and thrash to spice things up a bit. Overall, Process of Elimination, it's heavy, it's energetic, and it's built on killer rhythm section chemistry. It's messy in some spots, a little uneven in pacing, but it's packed with a lot of riffs and grooves that just hit hard. If you want crossover like thrash metal music like that lives between the 80s and the modern hardcore style, Dead Heat are continuing to keep the 80s thrash style of music alive and doing it well with a modern touch. So this latest release from Dead Heat, Process of Elimination, I would have to give it a decent and okay 8 out of 10. Links down below. Tell me what you think about this album. What do you think about thrash? Who are your big four in the thrash? We can do that in the conversation down below. But until next time, guys, see you in the pit. Good things about you.